Team. This is
Start the show.
episode 290, whatever the heck, 298. We're almost approaching
Yes.
300. This is our halftime show. It'll run a little bit longer, and it's okay. Um, we have the lovely Darren Branch and Anthony. This is yes, this
I'm
is
lovely now.
lovely, lovely. So lovely that you will tell
Aw.
us about the lovely experience that you had this weekend.
I did have a lovely experience this weekend. So, for those who are not in the know, this weekend there was a competition here in Las Vegas put on by an organization known as High Rollers. And they are big supporters and proponents of marijuana. And so the idea is all the competitors are stoned. And they provide you with a bag, like a duffel bag, full of like stuff. Like all these brand new rolling trays I just got.
Wow.
I literally have four brand new rolling trays of various sizes. I think they gave me about an ounce of weed.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
Like between pre-rolls, they gave me a quarter of flour on top of all the pre-rolls, edibles. I would guess it would be approaching an ounce. And then of course, like my sponsors, the homies from Originals, my homeboy Jimmy Jam was in town. Is still in town actually. And he's supplied me with a little bit of product as well. So everything is very green here. As you can see right now, I've got a big ass blunt in my hand.
yeah,
This
this
is
is very
a royal blunt.
very rare for Darren.
This is, I know, but this is like, oh shit. This is like beautiful high level shit. And I will make sure that we tag them in something.
Okay.
And we'll post out some pictures of like what they gave me. Because like the gift I was given for this event was fucking ridiculous. Like,
Nice.
I have a whole wardrobe now. No bullshit. Like I could take all my clothes out of my closet and set them on fire right now, and only wear the shit that I was given this week, and I'd be straight for at least 4 months.
That's crazy.
They gave me so much stuff. It's ridiculous how much stuff they gave me. So it was an incredible blessing. And then we get these cool ass rash guards.
Mm-hmm.
And the competition was good. Like people were out there really scrapping. Like, all right, here we go. The very first match,
Yeah.
a motherfucker gets put in an arm lock. He elevates a 200-pound man above his head like so.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking lifts his arm from his hip and raises it like he's doing a fucking lat raise above his motherfucking head
Whew.
with a grown-ass man. Not like my size, dog. I'm talking about a man.
Like
Like
180.
a fucking man.
Yeah.
A grown-ass nigga, as other people would say. Lifted this motherfucker above his head and then had some grace about it. Didn't spike him, just like shook his arm. So the guy fell off. Tremendous show of strength. Match one. So match one. Match one. A
gorilla.
motherfucker has been elevated above his head in a submission, and it's like, all right, this is game on. Like everybody's competing for a pound. So there's a white belt division, a blue belt division, a purple belt division, a women's division, and a black belt division.
Mm.
And each division gets a championship belt and a pound. Motherfuckers are not playing around. A pound of weed might go for like $5K.
Yeah.
I know the homies are talking about selling them for $4,500.
That's crazy.
So let's say $4,500. They're scrapping for $4,000. Let's call it five. Let's call it $5K because let's keep it real.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers are fighting for $5,000, and a lot of people can't just make $5,000. I can't just make $5,000. So I'm not trying to fucking go out there and have a bad showing.
Mm-hmm.
I charge super hard. Like I'll post the match. I was never threatened by this motherfucker, dude. A much bigger man, and it's when I say motherfucker, like I'm not being actually upset. Like
Right.
this man that I competed against did nothing wrong, and he was on this team. He was on the Raw team,
Oh, nice.
and I fuck with Raw the long way. Everybody knows that, and I talked to his coach afterwards. Everybody on that clique seemed to be fucking cool. Here's my point. I was never threatened at any point. I did all the attacking. And these are not like fly-by-night attacks. These are credible attacks. Sustained attacks. And then we go to the overtime, and I lose in the overtime. And the rules of that overtime are like fastest escape wins. And like, man, it fucking sucks, dude.
Yeah. It's like 3 times fastest escape.
But
yeah.
I knew the rules going in. And I had a fucking great time. And it was easily the most fun I've ever had getting first round clowned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Getting beat up in the first round and losing because I didn't get beat up, but let's just call it beat up because I lost.
Yeah.
So getting beat up in the first round is not something I'm ever happy about. That's why I have the phrase first round clown, right? But if it can apply to another motherfucker, guess what? It can apply to me too, right? So like, I got first round clown this time, bitch. Like, I got kicked out of the tournament early. But it was a fucking blast. And I would do it again. Like, it was a really fun event. It could have been run a little bit better. There were some things wrong. The referees didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Flat out. Even in the fucking super fight. And shout out to Mike Beltran, because not only do you have a tremendous mustache, but I'm sure you're a good man. But on that day, in that rule set, you had no fucking idea what you were doing. You had no idea what he was doing. So in the overtimes, where the cutoff time is crucial.
Yeah.
Right? If I say, all right, you got 2 minutes on the clock, fastest to escape wins. Go. Well, when we stop, matters. Does that make sense?
Of course.
When we stop really matters. And so he was real loose with it, to the point where, like, we're in the audience being like, that's it, it's over. And he would, like, just calmly wave his arms like, okay, it's over. And he was no-selling it and being real chill with his arms, like crossing his arms, okay, that's it. But, like, it was over for 4 seconds. It's been over for a while.
Yeah.
You didn't just see why it's over. But if you want to sell it that way so you don't look stupid on camera, I'm actually okay with that. But you can't leave that day not thinking you didn't fuck up a little bit.
Right.
Because you did.
Yeah.
But it's all good. The right guy won the match, so it all worked out. But just have enough standard, a high enough standard that you're like, yeah, I did fuck that up. Whatever. It's all good. We'll be better next time. You know? You don't got to begrudge the guy, but yeah, it wasn't correct. In my personal match, in my actual match, in the first minute, Anthony, I have this guy in a tight guillotine choke.
Yeah.
Tight. To the point where he sweeps himself, and I cover his legs as if I'm going to mount him, but we're both laying on our sides. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Our legs are off the mat. His head is on the mat. The referee is like, let him go. And I go, no. And then he's like, let him go. And I'm like, all right, fine. I let him go. Now, it seemed like I held him for eternity. Like, when I had the conversation at the event, at the match,
yeah,
after we were done, people were like, man, you shouldn't have let him go. And like, oh, they're saying all kinds of things. But it felt like I held him forever. When I watched it on video, it was like a second. Then the referee is like, you let him go, and I tell you to let him go. And I'm like, man, what? He was in a submission. I didn't almost sweep him, and now we're starting in the middle. I was fucking choking him, and now you want to start neutral. But I didn't even jump bad with him. I literally said, because you'll see on the video, the referee, he didn't like push me or anything. He was a big motherfucker, and he turned to me, and he took a couple steps forward and tried to show some physical dominance. You'll see it on the video.
That's so crazy.
And so I'm like, I'm not getting into another fight when I have a fight already with a bigger motherfucker. Like, I'm already fighting a bigger motherfucker. I don't want to fight 2 bigger motherfuckers right now. So without having to tail too much, I'm like, look, I'm not trying to be a dick. Let's just do this match.
That's
I proceed to continue to whoop this motherfucker. It's heel hooks, knee bars. I'm throwing the kitchen sink at this motherfucker, Anthony. I'm really trying to tap him.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to get out of there, dog. And then time runs out. We go to overtime, and I lose. And the reality is I should have won in under a fucking minute. That's what really happened. And when you see the guy who like, made me let go, when you see him like right before he reset, all of his body language tells you he knows he lost. It's already over. I fucked him up, bro.
Yeah.
He tried to bully me with the hand fighting, and I wasn't having that shit. And then it was the funniest thing. Like even now, right? You feel the energy level pick up, right?
Yeah.
Anthony, dude, I like fighting people, man. And like, when he tried to bully me, I was like, motherfucker, who do you think you are? You think I'm scared of you? I'm not scared of my dad. I'm not scared of God. I'm not scared of you either. Fuck out of here. So I put my hands down by my dick and walk forward like, fucking tie up as hard as you want. You want to pop foreheads? You want to push me in the face? Let's go. Like, let's go. I'm here for all of that. And like, I remember thinking that and doing that and having so much fun. That's not entirely normal.
For you.
That's not what a regular person does. When a person tries to hit you or intimidate you, you don't go, oh yeah. Like, that's what I'm here for, bitch. Like, let's do this. Like, it turned me on, bro. Like, I was like ready. It put me back into state.
Yeah.
It made me want to charge again. It made me feel like my brother Kobe. My brother Kobe. We have our disagreements about the shape of the world and behavior at times. But I swear to God, he's in my head.
Yeah.
When I'm grappling now, a much louder voice than one would think. And I'm like, I'm not gonna let this motherfucker push me around. I got 20 fucking years of good grappling in me still. That's something he said to me one day.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm old as fuck. And then when I was out there, I was like, I know what he's talking about. He's right. This is what I do. And for so long, I was like trying to like figure out if I wanted to be self-defense guy, if I wanted to try to pretend to be one of the fucking Valente brothers and shit. Trying to figure out, do I want to spend all my time learning Henry's style and becoming like a Hickson clone?
Yeah.
Is that the highest level of jiu-jitsu? Meanwhile, no matter how much interest I have in that shit, that is not why I got into this shit. I got into this shit because I figured, man, it's really fun to fuck people up, and I don't care if they fuck me up. It's still a pretty good time. I'm gonna try to fuck people up. That's what I came here for. And no matter how I try to get away from that and like try to kumbaya shit, at the end of the day, that's what the culture respects too.
Yeah.
It's the right thing to do. Go out here and fuck people up. It felt so good. It felt so good. And it was just a bonus that I could be openly high. So like I didn't have to go to a car and smoke a joint and then come into the tournament. Because I've been a high roller, dog. That's how it's always been. Goddamn, nearly every tournament I've ever won, I won high as fuck. Let's keep it real. That's just the reality of it. And I'm not the only person that does that. It's a very common practice.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do that.
The gymnasium smells like weed at every jiu-jitsu tournament, motherfucker. Every tournament is high rollers, nigga. This is not new. This is not new. But it was new that I was just inside the venue.
Just, yeah, kicking it.
With the fucking joint that was issued by the venue, chiefing down, and then slapping it up with somebody and getting after it. Like, there's nothing better than that shit. It was the most fun. It was the most fun.
That's good.
So I support that event. In spite of its flaws, I don't even care if they change the rules.
Mm-hmm.
I would compete under the exact same rules whenever they asked.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be there. It was super fun.
That's dope. Did you get a chance to see like King Cage or anybody in Vegas when they popped in? Or
I didn't get to see them. No. There's all these fucking quarantine rules.
Oh, that's right. You gotta be like safe.
So like there was a loophole.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't worry about it, because I want this dude to focus on what he's got to do, not trying to make sure that me and you get to link up and slap it up.
Yeah.
Because as much as I want to see Marcus, like, and I do, it's more important that they get their job done than that we get to slap it up. Me and Marcus will slap it up, and in another city at another time, or in this very city at another time. Like, that's a friendship that I have faith in. That's a lifelong friendship. So I'm like, there's all these dumbass rules. Do your thing. Like, don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
And then when I saw him on ESPN, because I've seen Devontae, and even though I've always known that I would see Marcus on ESPN, that he belongs on ESPN, not just as a cornerman, but as an athlete and possibly more than that one day. I think he's a very special guy. It was fucking, I popped for that shit.
Yeah.
When he got on the screen, I audibly was like, yeah, yes. Like, I was fucking jacked. I was so excited to see their faces. And then they're fighting a person who I'm acquainted with and I like in Justin James. It would be inaccurate to say like we're friends, but like I think he's a cool dude. I like him.
Yeah. And
we've trained together before. And I respect him. And I was happy that he got to get into the UFC. And I'd be bummed out if he doesn't get to continue his UFC journey after this fight. If Devontae's the one that puts him out of the UFC, which is a possibility because of where his career was at the time. But he's a game guy, and I hope they don't cut him. But, I mean, that was the outcome I wanted to see at the same time.
Right.
Like, let's not get it twisted. Like, I wasn't rooting for Justin. I don't want to act like I was. I wanted to see him unhurt and still have a really strong career. But I wanted Devontae and Marcus to be the ones with their hands smiling and, I mean, their faces smiling and their hands raised in the air.
Right.
Because those are people I've known for a long time.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's totally fair.
And they're black and I'm racist.
Of course. It gives them the
No, that's actually not true. I mean, it is true that they are black.
It is true you're kind of racist. So.
But I wasn't rooting for them because they are black. I was rooting for them because I fucking care about their futures. And I love Marcus. Like, Marcus is my boy.
Right.
But like Devontae, I'm more than fond of him. Like,
yeah.
But it would be disingenuous to be like, he's my best friend. I just think he's fucking dope.
He's a cool guy.
I want him to be the fucking champion.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where my allegiances were, and it worked out. Devontae found a way to win. He used some grappling and shit.
Some vicious elbows.
Nothing that I ever taught him. Like, I never taught him anything. For sure. I never ever taught him anything. I just gave him some advice in the corner, like, all right, clear your knee line. Clear your knee line. Awesome. Yep, punch him in the face.
Oh,
hooray.
You're better.
That was as much as I contributed.
You're a better man than most people. Most people would not have admitted that.
Why? Oh, that's because they're assholes, though.
Exactly.
Everybody wants to be like, I'm the one that taught him to fucking...
Oh, man.
I might have showed him 2 moves and he didn't need them. Like,
yeah.
like, it's all good. It's all good. I'm just rooting for the guy. He's the shit.
Yeah. Oh, that's good, though.
Yeah. And he cares about his family. Like, he's got every quality that I like. And the first time I thought I wanted that kid to be a celebrity, before I had Instagram, I saw a video that he made for Instagram.
Yeah.
And I asked, how'd this happen? He goes, oh, I edited this myself, and I did this myself. And I was like, I want that guy to win.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of that kid since that day, and that was years ago. He was an Emmy. Like, that was years ago. I've been a fan of that kid since that day. And when I got to corner him, like, once or twice, honor. But he didn't fucking need me. He didn't need me. But it was fun to be a part of his journey for a second.
That is neat. He is a really cool guy.
Yeah, he's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
And then one of my students, one of my homeboys, gets to fucking corner him in a UFC fight. So now the first time he's exposed to the top level of the game isn't the time that the lights are on him. He gets to see the lights from the outside, which is an incredible gift to give someone.
Yeah, it really is.
To say, hey, corner me so that when you get to this level, and I believe you will, because that's what you're saying when you bring someone with you like that. You're silently telling them, even if you don't say it out loud, hey, when you get here, this is what the lights look like. You're in the cage right now. At the end of the fight, you're in this cage. So the first time you were in a UFC octagon has already happened. So the next time you're in there and your motherfucking shirt is off, you'll already know that you belong there.
Right.
You've been there before. You smelled those smells. You've seen those faces. It's not going to be that big of a deal. You'll be able to focus more. It's a fucking tremendous gift to be in that corner when you're a fighter. I really believe that. And like I said, it went the right way, baby.
Yeah, it was the beats he gave, and yeah, it was that eye was vicious.
Yeah, they had to stop it. And it's unfortunate because Justin is a fucking warrior. That dude's a fucking savage. Like, a fucking savage. Like, the kind of dude, you could fucking crack him with a ball bat and he'll get up and fight some more. Like, he's fucking tough as shit. But that's one of those things that tough doesn't matter. Like,
Right.
Your skin is reacting. The blood inside your body is reacting. Your mind can't get you through this.
Yeah, he was gonna be, if he stayed in there, he'd be Michael Bisping. Like,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that.
Like, your body just reacted. And I think it was the slaps.
It was the slaps. Yeah. Yeah.
So at one point, Devontae reaches over. He has Justin's back. He reaches over, and he's looking for the choke, and then he pulls his hand out of the choking position and whap, 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 whap. Open hand slaps
Yeah.
over his face. And I'm not implying that there was a poke of any kind, because I don't believe there was. But I think that kind of impact
Yeah.
created that welting, that effect
Yeah.
on the eye, instead of that normal punching effect, which the swelling would look different. So I think the slaps did it, and I think that was a clever use of strikes. You know, he's a creative guy in there, man.
Yeah.
He used a really, really slick takedown to create this whole environment where he could do that slapping technique from the back. So shout out to Devontae for like being open-minded in his attacks. You know.
Yeah.
Now in the amateurs, you can't touch the face with anything but a closed fist.
Really.
Yeah, at least in Ohio, and I believe here in Nevada as well. You can touch the face with a closed fist, but you can't slap. But in pro, you can slap.
Okay.
It was legal and it was clever, and it led to a fight being ended. You know? And that goes to show you, man, like, it's not always, like, the heaviest strikes. There are a lot of ways to finish someone in that cage. There are a lot of things that can happen, especially when you start thinking about the things that look like incidentals, things like cuts and swelling. They're not necessarily created by, like, luck or, like, just circumstance. You can create the likelihood for them circumstances by using different attacks. Like, it is more likely that I cut you with my elbow than I will with my fist.
Right.
Even though my fist can cut you, it is more likely that my elbow will do that kind of damage.
It's a blade.
Right? It's more likely to get that kind of swelling effect with a slap than a punch. So, like, it depends on what the desired effect is. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and actually, know what's funny about that is I was looking at, don't know why, but I got into watching like all like the boxing documentaries and boxing highlights on YouTube, and who was it? Was it Sugar Ray? I'm trying to think who it was, or yeah, I think it was where he was he was the one that was good at shoe shining. Do you know
What is shoe shining?
Shoe shining is where you're throwing like really fast combinations. Like they're not meant to like do damage. They're meant to just be like a flurry of punches that you want to do at the.
Oh, Sugar Ray Leonard?
Yeah.
Yeah. And getting out of there?
Yeah, getting out of there. Like it was like because like that's what he did against Hagler, right? I think he did it against Hagler.
Oh, cool.
Because that's what he was doing to win the round. Because he knew he thought he was going to win based off of his like footwork.
Oh, he was stealing the round at the end of the round.
Yes, yeah.
But still the flurry being like, all right, not that much happened. It's pretty even.
Exactly, yeah. And I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Like now thinking about that, like like that's a good way of like stealing, especially if you're like fighting for judges. That's a good way because they're going to remember.
Well, this is the takedown theory in MMA. It's why everyone tries to finish the rounds with the takedown, finish the round on top.
Yeah.
Because that image of you getting off of this motherfucker is difficult for a judge to erase from their mind. When they go to pick up their little pencil and put it down on that paper and put a 10 on one guy's name and a 9 on another guy's name, put a 10 on one girl's name, put a 9 on another bitch's name. If you get off of that motherfucker, it is difficult for you to put the 9 next to you.
Yeah.
If you're the one getting off, the person on the bottom, you're getting off of them, and you're standing over them, and then you get to walk back over to a motherfucker like me and get told some new instructions. Well, guess what? You probably just won that round.
Yeah.
Unless they fucked you up. If it was even, and in the last 30 seconds I take you down and hold you down, I won. On the majority of scorecards, that's going to be the case.
Yeah.
And so in a boxing fight, your activity can be that same kind of a weapon. Where like, okay, it's an even round. I end with a flurry. And I clear myself. Woo, woo, woo. I look good.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that guy must have won the round.
Yeah.
He knows he won. Look how he's moving. You just tell them a story.
Yeah,
It's a way, man. It's one way to win fights.
it is.
Tell them you won.
Let's see what's going on. All right, Mr. Darren, I am going because I want to get back to watching the game. I think it's back on now because I think they do like half an hour. So
I know this halftime show.
it's quick. It's quick.
High Rollers halftime show. Shout out to Originals.
Yes.
That's the team that sponsored me. Those are the people I ride for when it comes to High Rollers and other things. If masks get involved, if I get on a plane and I get off the plane and they hand me the hammer, you know it's Originals work that I'm doing.
Ooh. Speaking of hammers, ooh.
I ride with them.
Speaking of hammers, you walked right into the weird news today. So did you
Did I?
did you hear what happened in Philadelphia on Thursday?
No.
Oh, this is a great story. So, all right, imagine you're in Philadelphia, you're living your life, and then
Okay, that's something I'm imagining it.
all right, so you're 50 years old, you have a wife, you have
Wait, I'm 50 or 15?
50. You're gonna do things that you would never do in this life. You're shoveling snow in your driveway, but you're kind of a jerk. You're taking your snow, shoveling it across to your neighbor's lawn, piling it up there. Your neighbor has asked you many times politely to stop doing that. Then one day your neighbor comes out with a shovel, starts scooping the snow back up and putting it back on your driveway. You guys get into an altercation, just telling each other to F off, go fuck yourselves, you're a piece of, what did he say? He said you're scum of the earth. Like you're scum.
You are the scum of the earth.
Yeah. And what did he say? What did the guy say? He basically said to the point like you're the real scumbag. He's like, why don't you come over here and fight me? That's what you say to the neighbor, right? You say, neighbor, you're a real pussy. Come fight me. So
is there a video of this? I don't want to see it.
You don't want to see it.
Video?
There is a video of this. You probably can't find it anymore. So what happens is the neighbor goes back inside, grabs a gun, and the wife and the husband are still like, "Oh yeah, put the gun down, pussy, put the gun down." And she's getting ready to record it, and he just shoots him. He shoots the husband, and then he shoots the wife.
Holy shit!
The husband's running to like the garage. He gets hit. The wife gets hit. He walks over to the wife. The wife says, "Fuck you, you fucker," and then he shoots her 2 more times.
What?
Then he runs out of bullets. Goes inside. They have a son that's he's like a special autistic kid. He's like 15. Comes out. Neighbors come out, try to help them. They're crawling around on the ground. Like one husband's crawling in the garage. The wife's crawling in the ground. He comes back out with an AR. He grabs the wife, sits her up on her hips, and says, "You should have shut your mouth." Blows her brains out. Walks into the garage.
What the fuck?
And blows the dude's brains out. And goes back home and kills himself. Oh, because he said, oh yeah, that's right. The husband said, "I'm gonna make your life a living hell. I'm gonna make your life a living hell." That's what he said to that guy. And the guy went inside, grabbed a gun, grabbed 2 guns.
He was like, "You don't realize that I'm already in hell.
Right,
I'm about to send you there right now."
Grabs the pistol, puts a couple in everybody, and both the wife and the husband. The wife still has the gall to say "fuck you," while she's
what the fuck?
While she's already.
This is an action movie that you have to like win the argument.
Yeah,
this is how people die. This is all right. Look, dude, I swear to God, I was just talking to someone before the podcast about how like I want a lot from the world.
Yeah.
I want people to pay me to do shit I would do for free.
Right.
That is how I plan on making a living for the rest of my life. That is an ambitious, audacious fucking thing to ask. And like, if I'm gonna have that kind of thing, I have to be a very positive dude.
Yeah.
I cannot spend my time being negative toward other people.
Right.
And I also think it's extraordinarily dangerous to do so.
Yeah.
Anytime you say fuck you to a person, you should think to yourself, what if this person snaps and fucking kills me?
Yeah.
Because they might. Because they might. And then that might spill over and that might kill your wife.
Well,
that might leave your son without parents.
Yeah.
Because you had to win an argument in the snow.
Yeah.
And with someone who was ready to kill themselves anyway.
Yeah.
So like you're literally, you have a family, and your mouth and your ego has now taken you away from them, And the result was that the person who took you, he didn't even want to be here to begin with.
Yeah.
So maybe the person that cut you off in traffic is ready to leave. Not like the street you're on, like leave the earth. Let them. Let them. Let them fucking go. Don't chase them and fucking be like, oh, fuck you, motherfucker. Look, they were already ready to die.
Yeah.
Now you're going to die too.
Yeah. It's
Fuck all that.
it's wild. It was wild. And like, you know, like I don't think the guy should, like, I think that, but at the same time, I think that's a great video to watch. Everybody should find it and watch it because it teaches you a beautiful life lesson. It's like,
What's the lesson?
shut your mouth. Maybe you should shut your mouth.
Yeah, maybe you should just be nice and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to fucking win every argument.
Yeah. It's like, just shut up sometimes. It's like you should just kept your mouth shut. Like, what a line.
Fuck you.
What a line. What a line.
Like, what the fuck?
What a
Like,
li-
whose hero are you?
What a
Who were
line.
you thinking about when you were, like, bleeding to death? And the last thing you wanted to be like was angry.
Well, it was, see, because that's the worst part about it. He still gave her time. Like, so he shot her while she was standing. Then she said fuck you while she was on the ground. He shot her 2 more times. Then the last moment was him saying, hey, you should have kept your fucking mouth shut. Like, that's a movie. That's a real life. Like, that's some Fargo.
That's what I'm saying. These people are behaving as if they are in a movie. All of them.
Yeah.
They're all behaving as if they're like, I just want to be the baddest ass possible. And it's like, all right, maybe you are. If all of you motherfuckers are members of a motorcycle gang, then like maybe
Maybe you might be.
that story makes sense.
Maybe. Even
But
that.
if you have an IT job or you're the fucking plumber, maybe you should chill the fuck out.
Well, one guy was what was he? He was in the Navy. The guy who killed himself and everybody was in the Navy. He was a retired Navy person, and yeah, it's sad, but at the same time, I'm like, that's a great lesson you taught everybody. I wish nobody had to die to learn that lesson.
Yeah, it sucks that people die, but yeah,
But
man,
you should have kept your mouth shut.
that's a way to die though.
That's a way to
That's
die.
a way toward death.
That is a movie quote right there. Like, I wonder what I really wish he would have had something for the guy too. Like, you know, you're going to hell, buddy. But he probably had nothing. So I just walked over and just ended it. He didn't even have a good line. He's like, "Fuck, I don't have anything to say."
I'm out of lines.
I'm out of line. Yeah, exactly. Like, imagine that. Like, you know, imagine he tries to say hello to my little friend, and then because you don't want to go to court with that. You don't want to go to court and be like, "What did you say? What did you say to these people?" It's like, well, I said
That's
this.
why he killed himself.
That's exactly why.
He said, I can't believe I never had a line for that guy in the fucking garage. I'm such a piece of shit.
Exactly. Like, or no, it's just more like he didn't want to go through
I'm
the.
a bad person. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm a bad person.
it's more it's more like he didn't want to go to court and have to repeat what he said and like act it out in court, because you know how ridiculous that sounds. Like, you know, like that's why you should have kept quiet, and then bam, and it's like nobody wants to act that. What is this? This is like a movie quote. Where'd you find this guy? It's like, what's wrong with you? It's
I
like,
know he really said this.
He really
Like,
said
I'm
this.
sorry, like-
I mean, and I'm happy that kid gets to grow up, like, you know, with his grandparents now. I'm not
like
sad.
Mickey and Mallory. Like, he's free. You're free, Kevin.
You're free, dude. Like, I'm not saying that your parents should have died, but it sounds like there's some pretty vile people if they would say those things to random, like to their neighbor and make that happen and just not realize that, hey, maybe you shouldn't say that. It's also Philadelphia, so take it for what you will.
Sir,
I'm just saying, man. There's some.
what? Are you
there's some-
anti-Philly that hard?
I'm not anti-Philly. I'm just like, have you ever seen them? Like, you know,
Have you ever been to Philly? That's what
Yeah.
you're about to say?
Yeah, have you ever
you
been
son
to-
of a bitch.
have you ever
I'm
been?
not. I don't hate black people, but have you ever talked to a nigger?
like I have. I like going to Philly. Philly's a cool place, but the people that live there, they're animals. Like, they're animals. Like, the people, like.
You are fucked up. You are fucked up.
Like, not like it's not like it's like the average person there is like is an animal there, because it's just like, you know, it's like, because it's a hard place to live, it's cold, and you're miserable because like only one of your sports teams won in the last like 20 years of your life. It's
Are you
like,
describing Cleveland?
no, it's different. They got like
What's different? You just said all the Cleveland stuff.
yeah. But they got didn't the Indians win?
No, our sports teams have been doing better as of late.
Yeah, so like they got 2, so they're cool. It's different. It's like if you have one, it's tough. Like the Bills, like we never want to go to the Bills city. Like, I like Buffalo. I like the idea of being there, getting the chicken wings. But honestly, I would never want to live there because I know it's a hard place to live. It's like, oh yeah, they're really friendly. They have Midwestern values. No, they don't. What are you talking about? That's part of New York. Like, yeah, it may be Midwest, but they're definitely just mean, cold people up there
Whoa!
that have no problem hurting
Anthony
you.
hates so many parts of this country.
Yeah, and you should.
Anthony, let me tell you one thing that you're definitely going to believe because you already know is true.
What?
And let me tell you another thing that you may not believe, but is definitely true.
Okay.
This week, in weird news for personal news, this week, I launched an OnlyFans page.
Oh, I saw that.
And my OnlyFans page is not just like, hey, like, here's a picture of me with my shirt off. My OnlyFans page is a motherfucking OnlyFans page. So if you fuck with that kind of shit, it's $9. It's under my real name. You can find me. That's the first piece of weird news.
Okay.
The second piece of weird news, Anthony, guess what I did today?
The pornography?
I mean, technically, yes. I edited some pornography.
Okay.
And I will be releasing that on my OnlyFans page today. That's not it. I went to church.
Oh, that's pretty cool. What particular reason?
I was invited to go.
Okay. That makes sense.
And I had recently read a Bible verse.
Yeah.
And I had recently given some thought to Pascal's wager. And I thought that those two things happening, plus the invitation, plus the person who invited me, I don't want to say like we're a sign, but like that was like a good opportunity. It was like, this is an opportunity to go investigate this idea.
Yeah.
And I went, and I'm glad that I went. But upon leaving, I have not like become anything other than I was when I went into the room.
Yeah.
Right. But like I'm not suddenly a religious person, but I think I will go back to that church and to other churches and to other religious buildings for a little while. I think I'm going to keep playing in this space. I want to do some research that is personal. And so that's my weird news.
That's cool.
I have customers, so that makes it pornography. The second that you exchange money for it is how I define it. Like, it's just a picture. It's not porn until you're earning.
Gotcha.
Now it's a product. Now it's porn. Before it was just a picture. But the second that you have now taken dollars for it, it is porn. So now I've made porn because I've taken dollars.
Is that what
Dollars have come.
Is that what porn is?
No, but that's my definition.
Oh,
Because
man.
I think money is in the definition of porn. Like sexual activity recorded for the process, for the purpose of profit, I think might be the definition of porn. Did you find it?
From dictionary.com, it says pornography, amazing. Television programs, magazines, books, etc. that are regarded as emphasizing the sensuous or sensual aspects of non-sexual subjects and stimulating a compulsive interest in their audience.
Okay. But I don't think it's porn until there's commerce involved, honestly. Like, because it's not. So fuck you.
There you go.
It's just a picture until you take in $1, daddy. It's just a picture. But once you take $1, it's porn.
Isn't that like the
And-
loophole for prostitution?
What?
Isn't that like the loophole for like prostitution?
I mean, maybe. It's okay if I'm a prostitute. I'm okay with that too.
It's like
Maybe I'm a prostitute.
it's okay to pay for sex as long as it's recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, pimp. You enjoy that game.
Yes.
Episode 298. Love and Chokes. Always glad to fucking talk to you.
Yeah. Glad to talk to you
Super
too,
glad that I did high rollers this weekend. Super glad that I competed again. I will be competing again as soon as I can.
Yeah.
That fire is relit. I had too much fun. And there's a lot of resources in this city to train. There's a lot of bodies to touch.
Yeah. Grease the wheel.
And so I'll be taking advantage of that and getting my scrap on very soon. So for now, Anthony, I must bid you adieu.
Yeah.
This will be goodbye for real. Internet. Goodbye, Internet. Anthony,